Your real estate transaction can be perfect, and it can still fall apart days before closing. Inspections cleared, appraisals done, everybody's packing boxes, and then the buyer's insurance quote comes back and the numbers just don't work. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the hidden deal killer in Colorado right now. Not rates, not pricing, it's insurance. I'm Wade Perry of the Perry Properties Group at eXp, and if you're thinking about selling in Colorado in 2026, you need to understand this before you list. This is the shock nobody expects. Buyers aren't backing out because they don't want your house. They're backing out because they cannot afford to insure it. A buyer typically will budget $180 to $200 per month for homeowners insurance, and then the quote comes back at $400 to $500, sometimes even more. That's an extra $200, $300 per month added to their payment overnight. And for many buyers, especially first-time buyers, that breaks their loan approval. And if they can't secure insurance, the lender won't fund the loan. No insurance, no closing. It's really pretty simple. No insurance means no mortgage. No mortgage means no deal. So why is this happening in Colorado right now? Well, Colorado is not dealing with a disaster risk. We're dealing with two. Wildfire risk in the foothills is at an all-time high. And some of the worst hail exposure in the entire country exists across our Front Range. Insurance companies, they're paying massive claims year after year after year. So what do? They raise premiums, they tighten guidelines, or in some cases, they stop writing policies in certain areas altogether. And all of this trickles down into your real estate deal. And as much as this hurts to hear, I want my insurance company to be profitable. Why? Well, so they can pay my claims when disaster strikes. And this, creates that trickle-down effect. So when insurance companies lose money, sellers feel it. Now let's look at the real numbers. Insurance in Colorado is no longer a small line item. It's a major expense. Many Denver area homes are now seeing annual premiums between $3,500 and $5,000 a year. And in foothill areas like Evergreen, Conifer, parts of Boulder County, that number can jump to $8,000, $10,000 per year or more. That's not emotional, that's math. And buyers need to know these numbers before they commit. Insurance used to be a background noise. Now it changes affordability. But before we look at specific geographic areas, if you're finding this content helpful, we would be so grateful for you to smash that like button, hit subscribe, and leave a comment down below about your thoughts on this content. This is how we can improve and serve you with even better guidance. So here's a common question. Why are foothill homes hit so hard? I've actually heard people say, the more beautiful the view, the harder the insurance. In reality, mountain and foothill properties often sit in wildfire-prone zones. And some buyers, they apply with multiple carriers that get declined by most of them. And that one policy they do get, it's astronomically high. And that shrinks your buyer pool dramatically. Fewer qualified buyers means downward pressure on prices. Increased insurance risk, it can potentially shrink your buyer pool. You should know that. So how does this actually kill a deal? Insurance doesn't blow up deals early. It usually blows them up later, closer to the end. Here's the typical timeline. Inspection passes, negotiations are done, appraisal is cleared, and the buyer calls their insurance agent, the quote comes back higher than they expected, and now they're over their debt-to-income ratio, or they panic emotionally. In short, the deal feels safe until the insurance quote hits. Next up, the emotional reaction. Buyers don't just react financially, they react emotionally. They feel blindsided. They feel like no one warned them. And that frustration can very easily turn into price reduction requests, seller concessions, or sometimes just walking away entirely. And from the seller side, it feels like everything collapsed for no reason. But there was a reason. No one planned for insurance early enough. Surprise costs create surprise negotiations. So what can you do before listing your property? Hint: the sellers who prepare for insurance issues are the ones who close smoothly. Before you list, you could do this. You could get fresh insurance quotes on your own home. You could upgrade to an impact-resistant roof, which could lower premiums significantly. You could create defensible space around your property if you're in a wildfire-prone area. You could shop multiple carriers so you know realistic ranges. When you know the numbers as a seller, you control the narrative, not the buyer. And this preparation turns a deal killer into a negotiation tool. How? Think strategic concessions versus price drops. A small insurance concession could save you from making a big price cut. Instead of dropping your price, say $20,000 after a failed contract, you might offer a $3,000 to $5,000 credit towards the buyer's first year of insurance. That keeps the deal intact, it protects your list price, and it feels manageable to the buyer. Smart sellers, they adjust strategically, not emotionally. And when you have the right real estate team, targeted concessions beat panic price drops every time. Last, what exactly does this mean for home values? Homes that are easy to insure are holding value better than homes that aren't. Pretty simple. Urban areas with moderate insurance increases, well, they're holding values pretty strong. High-risk wildfire zones, fire pools are shrinking. Insurance is quietly influencing property values indirectly. And the sellers who understand this early position themselves ahead of the curve. When you think about it, insurability is actually becoming part of the value. In summary, insurance used to be an afterthought. In 2026, it's a closing condition. So if you're thinking about selling in the greater Denver area this year, you cannot treat insurance like a side detail. You need a veteran real estate team who engages realistic numbers, mitigation strategies, and a pricing plan that reflects today's reality. At the Perry Properties Group, we're helping sellers plan around insurance before the sign ever goes in the yard, because the goal is not just to get under contract. It's to get to the closing table without surprises. And when you begin thinking about selling in 2026, just reach out to us. We're always a call, a text, or an email away. And if you have friends who can benefit from this content, go ahead and share it with them. Thanks for watching. It's a great life.